Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you very much for joining me. I'd like to take some time to share our action research journey with you. So, our focus is on collaborative planning as a tool for teacher professional development. 4 of the team are up there on the screenshot. There's 2 others missing. So here are several of the themes and codes that we identified during our thematic analysis of teacher questionnaires, action research group discussions, and teacher diary entries. You'll be pleased to hear that was the last one. Our main findings can be classified using the following 3 categories. On the next few slides, please note the contrast between the beginning of the year and the outcomes, which we claim are as a result of the work of the Action Research Group. The local context here is key. We had a restructure of the maths department into a dispersed model, and that took place August 2020. This involved the relocation of maths teachers into separate vocational teams across the college. The starting position describes the feelings of maths teachers at the beginning of the current academic year. The end point suggests a positive impact of the work of the teachers within the ARG. This transitional period experienced by the maths teachers, faced with the new way of working, meant that time and energy to explore new approaches and challenge their own beliefs and current practice was severely limited. The Action Research Group acted as a catalyst for change. The Padlet, containing carefully selected resources, alleviated some of the pressure of lesson preparation and helped to generate ideas to facilitate a move towards a more student-centered approach to teaching. We've discovered that the provision of quality resources in itself is not enough. The results of our teacher questionnaire highlighted the need for teacher guidance on how to use these resources more effectively. We believe that the development of this project next year should include team teaching. That would enable further modelling of new approaches, such as the use of concrete manipulatives to develop proportional reasoning. Most teachers have been supportive of the flexibility of the new scheme of work, as it's allowed them to respond better to the needs of their students, in particular with mixed ability groups. The grand plan. So this was to be undertaken within protected time on a Thursday afternoon for all of the maths teachers across the college. It was informed by our research, And amongst others, Malcolm Swan highlights that attempts to develop teaching practices must attend to the beliefs and beliefs that changes in them, may be the clearest measure of a teacher's professional growth. Resources encourage teachers to use tasks that are tried and tested resources. Many of these were underpinned by formative assessment strategies. And we also took account of the teacher voice through the questionnaire to measure those beliefs and attitudes, looking at staff priorities and experiences as well. Dylan William reports that teacher professional development focused on assessment for learning is the most cost-effective way of raising student attainment, and that the research shows that short cycle formative assessment has the biggest impact on student learning. However, there were external factors that meant we had to scale back our grand plan. And these included a diverse maths team, quite a churn of staff, supply teachers there for a short period of time, new staff coming in. Obviously, COVID-19, the new way of working, including lots more vocational team meetings that maths teachers hadn't been, didn't have to attend previous to the reorganization, and also the influence of external stakeholders, which included curriculum managers without the same experience as the maths team. So we decided to focus on the activities of the Action Research Group itself, which consisted of the 6 maths teachers. The realistic plan, as we rebadged it, involved looking at introduction of external CPD to prompt the development of these new strategies. The Padlet of resources I've already mentioned. The subgroup, the Action Research Group, if you like, were focused on using those resources in their classrooms, and then as a collaborative group, sharing learning with the wider maths team. This led to two parts to the evidence, which included an overall questionnaire for the wider team, and also the thematic analysis focused on Action Research Group discussions and teacher diaries, as I've already mentioned. So just to zip through, here's an example of the Padlet with the characteristics of the tasks that we looked at and wanted to promote. Focus on shorter tasks, benefit of that being not such a risk for the teacher, doesn't take up the whole lesson, and if it doesn't work out as planned, they can easily move on to another activity. Here's an example of one of them. This is a Don Stewart resource. And this was got a really interesting discussion in the Action Research Group as a result of teacher experiences in the classroom. This task enabled teachers to start a dialogue with their students. Here were the tensions between some of the factors on teaching, the pace of the lesson, teaching for understanding, and learner engagement. Lots of discussion that we analysed in the thematic analysis. One teacher's reflection on how this impacted on them in the classroom. Some of the research includes Roland and Zazkis looking at making decisions in the moment. Overall, the tensions between the pace of lesson, teaching for understanding and learner engagement were also present in decisions around the content and sequencing of the scheme of work, and also the content and frequency of formal assessment. So to sum up, here is a quote from Monica, reflecting on her experience of working in the Action Research Group this year. And finally, please can I ask you to listen carefully to Spiros, describing the impact of his involvement within our Action Research Group this year. This is a very short audio clip that sums up the essence of what we are aiming to achieve.
And Michael, I don't know about you, but I have learned a lot of things about from this resource. And now that I'm thinking about this, I think the reason is that I'm not used to work with this kind of resources. What I'm used to do, because I have a lot of experience as a teacher, I have used the teaching style of delivering. Okay, guys, now we are going to do fractions, and me talking, not listening to the students, but trying to deliver. So this is like changing the paradigm, changing the way that I teach. Yeah. Now I'm not going to deliver, now I'm going to hear the students, and from the students, I will try to make some discussion more or less and try to find misconceptions. But when I deliver, there is no misconceptions because I don't have misconceptions. I know what fraction is, I just deliver it. But this is different. And that's why I like it and I learn from this resource. And hopefully, I don't know in the future if I will do it, but I hope I will, that I will use more of these resources. I want to change from delivering to go to something more interactive. Why? Because it's more efficient, first of all, because I can see the misconception straight away. It's more engaging, and it's more fun for me and the students.
Thank you very much. Sorry I've overrun there.